Hello, everybody. I am Jay Flo, also known as Jesus Flores. I'm the host today for the Drippy Faucet Podcast. I have an amazing person today on the show, Julio. We haven't seen each other in a long time, so this is going to be some catching up, and I want to just kind of get to know him a little bit, and then see what the future holds in store. Right, so we were just talking about ACPA and Marin and being an athlete and working out. So there's all these things, you know. Did you get a championship as a volleyball player when you were at Jordan?
So yeah, we actually did. At Jordan, we won city once.
Mm-hmm.
We won league 3 times out of the 4 years I was there.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a good time. Volleyball was
What position were you?
I was a right side hitter and then a libero.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you could put it down then, bro.
Yeah, I could.
You can't.
I don't really play as much anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's crazy, bro. I don't know. Do you know some guy named Caesar?
Caesar, he was a beast.
Like crazy.
Flavio,
bro.
he was a beast.
Did you play with Caesar?
No, he actually played a year after I left. But
Okay,
Caesar, he's something else.
Wait. Okay.
He's the beast.
All right. I played against him because I was at HP.
Oh.
Right. And so I played volleyball my senior year.
Oh, okay.
Dude, I swear, bro, I have never had so much fun playing a sport until I played volleyball.
Right.
And it's crazy because I was a football player, and like football was my thing. You know what I'm saying? Completely different sports.
Way
you know,
different,
one sport
yeah.
you're trying to hit somebody, like you're trying to catch a
all
football.
aggressive.
Yeah, there's
And
so much
you
aggression.
don't do that in volleyball.
In volleyball, it's all about smarts, technique, skill, teamwork,
Patience too.
Oh,
you can't
man.
just rush to hit the ball.
You can't, right? Because then you're gonna
You can't
miss.
just run, dive for the ball.
Yeah, you need like the proper timing.
Yeah, proper
right? Because
timing
you
for
see the
everything.
ball, then you gotta get the right what do you call that when you take 4 steps back? What is that called?
Just a stance or
The stands, I guess. But I totally love volleyball, man. Remember when I invited you to go play with us on Saturday?
Yeah.
But then you said you had to
I
go.
couldn't. We had to look at asada for my grandma that
That's
day.
what's up, bro. That's
and
what's
I
up.
couldn't make it, but
Your family guy?
yeah, definitely.
Why is family so important to you?
Family is always very important because they're the number one supporters.
That's true.
Fortunately for me in particular, that's my number one supporter.
Yeah.
When I was in college, boom, they were there feeding me. They were bringing me snacks. They were there bringing me carne so I can cook. And when I was in grad school, my mom was there cooking my meals so that I can take it to school because I was working full time when I was in grad school.
Yeah.
And so that was a tough one. But you know what? Not all my friends were there, but my family was always there.
Damn.
And so that's why I was trying to give back as much as I can to them.
Right. That's the beautiful thing about family, bro, is that no matter what, well, let's be clear, right? Some family members, they're crappy.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Not mine. I'm blessed, right? It seems like both of us are blessed to have like a good family that just loves us so much that their support is unconditional.
Unconditional, without waiting for someone to give something back. It's just unconditional. Like here you go. Like I want you to succeed.
Right. Trip out, fool. When I was waiting for you to come, as I told you to park.
Yeah.
My sister had just called me. She's like, "You want some In-N-Out?"
Oh,
then I was like, "Nah, you gonna bring some for Julio?"
That's love. Oh,
so I wanted to say, what school did you go to? What college did you go to?
So after graduating Jordan High School, I went to UC Santa Barbara.
What? You went to Santa Barbara?
Yeah, from
Dang.
hood to culture shock.
I want to know about that, bro. Tell me about that story. Tell me about that process. Tell me about what it took.
Luckily, so my transition was made so much easier because I participated in a summer program. It's called it's EOP. Okay. And I was there for 3 weeks, and so I was there with other students with similar backgrounds, and so I was able to make friends. I was able to explore the campus. I was able to enroll in classes with an advisor right there supporting me.
Right.
And on top of that, I was able to take a credit course and get credit for that.
Right.
And so I stepped into UCSB well prepared because of that experience during the summer.
Wow.
But once I was there, oh man,
Yeah,
I had to study extra, like way harder than everybody else. I went to a school in the hood, and so I wasn't academically prepared to go to university, a world-class university like Santa Barbara. And let alone interested in studying environmental studies. Oh man, it was, from the get-go, it was just like, oh, you're gonna fail. But through a lot of work and persistence, I just continued and graduated. And another support system I had was, of course, EOP, and then I ended up joining an academic fraternity that kept me going as well.
Yeah, well, what is the difference between an academic fraternity and like a normal fraternity?
Like an academic fraternity, it's almost as it's closely related to a social fraternity, but with academics, they require you to maintain a 3.0. They require you to maintain a minimum GPA, pass all your classes, and then do volunteer work and stuff like that.
What? Did you have to pay money to be
Yes,
involved?
yeah. You still have to pay. There's a fee, but it wasn't as expensive as other organizations. You get your money's worth.
Yeah. So did you create like a real brotherhood?
Yes,
with the guys there?
All of the guy friends that I still hang out with, they're the ones from the fraternity. Everybody else just dwindled away, and we still hang out. They actually live around here, all throughout LA.
Damn.
Yeah, and it's really cool.
I just want to say, man, it's a beautiful thing, man, to have a boy or a girl or anyone from the hood, from the real hood. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really consider like Huntington Park to be the hood. It's definitely like socioeconomically challenged, but you know, like South Central, you know, you go to Watts, and there's all these other places that are far more challenged, right? Socioeconomically speaking. And then when you have a kid like that to go to Santa Barbara, like that's a big challenge, man.
Oh yeah.
And to overcome all those obstacles, it's just like, that's amazing, bro. I'm really proud of you. I never knew that you went to Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
You know, kind of had an idea that you were from Watts or whatever. But that's a big accomplishment, man. When you graduated, how did your family feel?
Oh man, they just couldn't believe it. They were like, this little boy from the hood. Well, on top of being from the hood, I was actually raised in Mexico.
Really?
So I came.
What age did you?
I was born in the U.S., but I was
Okay.
raised in Mexico until I was about 7 years old.
Yeah.
Then came back here knowing no English.
Damn.
So that was another barrier I had on top of
you were
being in the hood.
English language learner.
Yeah, from the start.
So
Here.
tell me about that struggle, bro. How did it make you feel? Did you feel like people didn't like you? Did you feel like some teachers didn't support you?
Luckily, I did have teachers that were very supportive.
Okay.
But friends, of course, everyone was like trying to bully me.
Yeah.
But what kept me going was that I was always pretty good at soccer.
Oh, really?
And so when we played kickball, best believe I was the strongest one there. So I got my respect through kickball.
Right. Isn't it awesome, bro? How people can gain respect by being an athlete?
Right?
I don't know what it is about being athletic or being an athlete that there's a lot of people that kind of look up to you. They want to be like you, or they just kind of in the totem pole of I guess social hierarchies. You have some sort of like
You have some
social
sort of
currency.
Right? It is. It's social currency. That's what it is. And so what happened is that, man, I didn't know any English.
Yeah.
I would get called the only thing I knew was my name in English.
Yeah.
Julio, because that's all I could understand from the teachers. And so, but when I was in the soccer field or playing kickball, man, best believe I was there, kicking those balls, and I started meeting new people. But it was still tough because not many Hispanics were in the area.
Right.
I was a minority in the minority system.
Right.
Because it was predominantly all black when I was growing up.
At that time, and it was only like 15 years ago.
15 years
That's
ago.
crazy.
It was crazy.
Like, how in the world is 15 years? All it takes is 15 years for Mexicans to just go ahead and dominate the entire area.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
It was, yeah. And that's what happened my elementary year. And by the time I was in high school, it was predominantly Hispanics.
Damn. Do you remember your first English sentence?
I don't even remember.
You don't remember that?
It was probably like, how can I go to the restroom? How can I avoid like the embarrassment of not understanding anything?
Right. So do you remember the first English book that you read? Completely?
Completely.
That you're just like, whoa, I can't believe I just read a book. Yeah.
You know what? It might have been like a Harry Potter book.
Okay.
That I completely understood.
Yeah.
But I'm sure I had multiple little books. I just can't recall right now. Maybe a Dr. Seuss. But yeah, it was an amazing. It felt just amazing. I remember like when I first was able to read a book, man, I was walking home reading a book. Best believe I was all happy.
That's a beautiful thing about reading is that once the reading bug bites you, you never want to go back.
You don't.
Like these things right here for me are like literal magic. You know what I'm saying? Like the way that they can rewire and transform the way that you perceive everything around you is magic.
It is.
Right? It's almost like going to like a bruja and then she like gives you some magic and then you're like able to be a different person.
Yeah.
That's books, man. That's why I preach books. You know what I'm saying? I know some people hate reading books and they're still brilliant or whatever. I mean, good for you. But for the rest of us, you want to be different, you want to learn something, here it is. What's the craziest thing that you saw at Jordan?
Oh man, you know, for me, I never saw anything that's crazy because violence was so normalized.
Right.
So what I can say it's crazy, what you can see as crazy for me it can be normal, but man, I used to see people getting jumped all the time. I used to see people getting stabbed. I saw people get a gun pulled out on them, and this was
in school.
This wasn't even in high school. This was middle school at Markham Middle School, and so that school was like the worst in the area when I was growing up because we didn't have charter schools, and so everybody from all over the hood went to that one middle school. So we had people from the Nickersons and everywhere just taking over that little school, and it created a lot of drama.
Well, yeah, because you have all these like different gangs, right? And there's gonna be all this tension, and they're so young, so they have to prove themselves.
They have to, and so just imagine all that happening while you're trying to like go to school and learn some math, learn some skills, and yeah, it was tough.
Yeah.
But this in high school, in middle school, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. I have homies, Brian and Lewis. Shout out to you fools that went to Edison.
Oh, that's pretty tough.
Dude, I went to Gage, bro. You know, and the stories that they would tell me, I was like, how did you survive in that system? How did you survive in that chaos? And like, of course, like they had to learn how to fight. You know, they had to learn how to run.
Oh yeah.
They had to learn how to not be smart, or at least they had to hide their smartness. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you had to be smart, not standing out, because you would get bullied for being smart.
That's so crazy, right? I mean, that's the society that we live in. You know,
unfortunately,
I wish we could normalize being a nerd, being a scholar.
Right.
Like that's why I really appreciate Angel Hernandez.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That guy.
That's his whole brand. Scholar, gamer, nerd, right?
You can be everything.
Exactly. And it's like, dude, you can be tough, you can be smart, you can be an intellectual, you can be anything you want. And don't be afraid to show that just because you have some knuckleheads.
Because you have some people out here trying to pull you down, and that's not what they value. But
right.
You just gotta keep moving forward.
Right. Like I have this kid, I'm not gonna say his name, but he's like the best chess player at school. But he's also like one of the biggest fools. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Walking through the halls and not really causing desmadre with teachers or kids.
Yeah.
But with the CSOs.
Oh yeah, that's
you know,
that's a good one.
You know, what about once you got to college, man? I want to hear some of those like challenges. I want to hear about how you overcame those, because there's a lot of people listening right now that are either in that summer bridge program, or they're about to get into university, or they're seniors or juniors,
or eventually they're gonna get there.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, my girlfriend, man, she's transferring to UCSB.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know, it's gonna be a whole desmadre, but I'm sure she'll watch this. What kind of advice do you have for people going into college or Santa Barbara?
Well, just in general, college is a lot of fun. I think a lot of people just think of college as, oh, you're gonna be reading a book all day, you're going to be in your class all day. No, on top of that, that's not a lie. You do have to do all that, but on top of that, there's a lot of social events, and you need to learn how to balance that, because you're gonna want to have fun. You're gonna want to go out and party, and there's gonna be a ton of opportunities to do that and experience new things. And what you need to do is balance it out and not let that take advantage of your time, because you have your goals in mind. College is temporary. You still have to live your whole life, and you have to start your career. Right. And so you need to learn how to balance those social events, especially in Santa Barbara in my case, because
party school.
It's a party school, and there's a party every single weekend, which is a good and bad thing. So if you miss one, boom, there's the next one next week.
That's always a good way to look at it, right?
Yeah, that's
like, I gotta study for this exam on Monday. There's no way.
Yeah.
Fuck it. There's another party on next Wednesday. Or next Saturday.
Or you can party after your final or whatnot.
Right.
You know? And I had multiple occasions or experiences like that where I would have a huge assignment due.
Yeah.
The day was like a big event at Santa Barbara, like Deltopia, and it was like a huge thing.
So you would have to do both.
Yeah, I would either wake up really early and then just attend for a little bit, and then boom, hit the library.
Okay, fair enough.
And then
that way you kind of got out the system, right?
Yeah, like okay,
I was there.
Like, let me turn off my phone and not get distracted. Okay, time to work on this damn essay.
Right.
And it was a tough one though. That was the hardest thing, being able to say no to all the things that you really want to do.
Right.
Because you have your goals in mind.
Right.
But aside from that, oh man, I think the hardest thing at Santa Barbara was just a transition.
Right.
I didn't know how to speak to professors. I didn't know how to ask or attend office hours. I didn't know how to write a complete essay, to be honest. And I had to learn those skills right there and then as I got my grade.
Right.
So, yeah, and that was tough.
Right. So how did you, what skills did you acquire? What tools did you utilize to balance off or to balance your social life with your academic life?
So the biggest thing is you have a support network at school. And not many people know that, and that's really important to know because you have a lot of people get paid at the university to help you, and your success rate becomes their success as well. And so EOP was the biggest helper for me. They supported me through especially writing courses. Aside from like my class itself, they would support me with a tutor.
Yeah.
And they would connect me to workshops that would prepare me to learn these skills. And so that was very beneficial. But overcoming everything else, oh man, it takes a lot of your own energy as well.
Right.
Because not everybody can help you. So you have to sit down and understand that you have to work a little harder.
Right. Right, you have to help yourself,
Yeah, you have to help
overall,
yourself.
right? Because what I love about college is that nobody's holding your hand anymore.
Nope.
Right? And
Just let you go.
I mean, at Jordan, we have to do that for a lot of students, right?
have
Because of their nature, but not necessarily that they were born that way, but they've been socialized into kind of like letting people kind of drive them certain ways because they don't know anything else. But it's like, damn, dog, like right now I'm cool with you, right? So I have to drag you. I have to drag you maybe if I have to. If you're well driven, nobody has to do anything for you. But once you get to that next level, whether it be college, adulthood, a job, dude, nobody, you're not gonna be able to make any money, like any dope money. You know what I'm saying? And so be driven, take care of your business. Don't let other people be your main reason why you do things.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Find your passion. What you want.
Man, find your passions. Did you already know your passion in high school, or did you figure that out in college?
Oh, I figured it out until after college.
Really?
Yeah. So
what is it?
My passion right now is just giving back to the community.
Okay.
I've been working with the community of South Central, Watts, for 4 or 5 years now. Working with a variety of positions through the Green Dot, the Mayor's Office of Gang Reduction Youth Development, and then currently with United Friends of the Children.
Okay.
So
what is that current position like?
So currently I'm a college counselor actually, and
damn, that sounds awesome.
Yeah,
dude.
no, it's amazing. And I work with foster youth within LA County that are in the 7th grade through the 10th grade. And my goal is to change the stereotype, change the projected outcome of these youth by providing resources, getting them to graduate high school, providing counseling, enrichment opportunities, funding enrichment opportunities, and ultimately exposing them to different experiences that'll inspire them to get to a higher education institution.
All right, that's beautiful. How have you? What type of success rate have you seen?
So for mine, I don't really get to see the success rate because I work with the students that are 7th through 10th
Right. No,
grade.
I understand that, but I would say like in the mindset of the child.
Yeah. I have students that I have a lot of students from South Central because they're the students I choose.
Right.
I get to choose my students because that's what they give me.
That's what matters to you though, right?
That's what matters. And so, okay, I want to give back to my community, so let me get students from here. So I have this one student in particular that attends school here in South Central. This guy started our school. Yeah. Augustus Hawkins.
Okay. All right.
Started off with nothing but fails and D's when I first met him. Damn. And it's not because he was dumb or because he was incapable. It was because he was lacking motivation.
For sure.
And he didn't have a male guide.
Okay.
So I stepped in, I introduced myself, and through a working relationship, as of right now, I was at his house yesterday actually, doing a home visit. This guy has no C's, all B's and A's. And this was my doing within like 7 months.
That's beautiful.
When I started in November, October.
What do you think it is about that relationship, that interaction, that has allowed you to kind of break through that stereotype?
I think for the biggest one is just because the way I look. I'm Hispanic, I'm bald. No one expects me to be a counselor. And
so they look at you and
they're like, what? This guy's hood, what? And so that's the first image they get. And then they meet me and they're like, oh, this guy's about business. But like they're confused because they're not exposed or to males that are within education that look the way I do and can speak the way I do and can guide them the way I can. And so that's the biggest thing, just a motivation from someone that looks just like them.
You know what? That's a beautiful way to break that down, because that's one of the main points in education, right? Is that we need more black males in education. We need more Latinos in education, right? And the reason why I say males is because, you know, the space of education, which includes counseling, is completely dominated by women.
Oh yeah.
And of course, I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
No, definitely
right?
not.
It's a great thing. But there are a bunch of young boys that feel like they're misguided, right? Because maybe at home they don't even have a male figure.
They don't. Right? I have a lot of youth that don't have a male. Their parents were either deported or just left, completely left, and then on top of this, they're in the system, a foster care system, and what's dominated by the foster care system? More females, not many males within that system itself. And so, who knows? They can go all throughout their whole life, and then boom, up until high school, they interact with their first male because education is so dominated by females.
Right.
And that's tough. And like, of course, they're not going to go to high school because they don't see any role models within that field. Right. They're not going to go to education or a higher education institution because of that either.
Right.
They're gonna what do they know? Oh, narcos. What do they know? Gangsters. What else?
Those are the male role models in their lives, right?
That's what they see.
Yeah, and some of the dopest kids I know that are boys are under those footsteps. You know what I'm saying? Because again, currency, right? Social currency. Like, who has more currency? A random teacher or the homie down the street that can hook you up with weed, alcohol, music, all these things that
the best clothes
give you instant gratification, right? And so I kind of just want to put it out there for everyone who thinks about, should I be a counselor? Should I be a teacher? If you're a guy, man, and you're a guy of color, if you are interested in making an impact, you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily making a lot of bank, all right? But if you're interested in making an impact, like a large impact, where people look up to you, like where people are admiring you, where people are looking at you as a role model, the field of education is it, man. And like I said, I'm not trying to overhype it, because it's definitely a lot of struggles, right?
Yeah,
like what is one struggle that you've dealt with that sometimes makes you feel like quitting?
I think the biggest one is that being a counselor as a male isn't really valued within the Hispanic community. Like, they don't see a counselor as a trabajador. That's easy. Anyone can become a counselor. Well, whatever. No. So that's a struggle itself, because sometimes your family, unfortunately, they'll even project that onto you. Like, oh, your brother, he's a construction. That's a valued work. And counseling is exhausting. They just don't see
mentally exhausting, spiritually exhausting.
Oh yeah, you get to see and hear a lot of things that you just don't want to hear and see.
Right.
And that's not valued, because that's not what a lot of Hispanic communities know about, because of the lack of education they've experienced throughout their life, or the barriers they've experienced. And just because of that, I've struggled sometimes, and it's kind of demeaning sometimes, because you're like, my work is valuable too. I'm out here working my butt off in the hood, putting my life in danger, working around the projects. I used to work in the projects too.
Right.
And so that's dangerous and it's tough, and so it should also be valued. But not only within a family, but in society itself, it's also undervalued. Yeah, not many people really care about counselors. You don't really hear about male counselors, but if you hear like a Hispanic becoming a police officer, oh yeah, that's definitely valuable.
Right.
Yeah, right? Have you seen that?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely.
Like, it's more manly to do it, right?
When I was a child, I think I would hear more about, why don't you become a cop? Or being a cop is so good for society, right? And it's like, well, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. I don't need to give my opinion about that right now. But counseling is definitely an amazing, beautiful, fulfilling job. You know, although the counselors at my school are severely overworked.
Ooh, I can only imagine.
Like the way I see them, the way I see them work, I'm just like, child, please, like, there's no way I'm doing this job. You know what I'm saying? So, but I give them props, and I'm always very nice and very respectful to them, because I understand that they got their own struggle. You know what I'm saying? Like teachers, we got our own struggles, And I love it. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, it's not a crazy challenging job. You know, just because like I'm very certain with what I am and what I bring to the table, and like you know what I'm saying. Like my classroom is like it's like basically you come into my house. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like come through, like you might learn.
It's really hard to disrespect me in my own house. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, like you're a respectful man, you're grown and everything, and you know better. Yeah. But if some random bozo comes in my house and tries to disrespect me, you're out. You know what I'm saying? But obviously with our students, that's not the same philosophy, right? Like I'm not just gonna kick you out.
Yeah, you can't.
I'm gonna try to work with you. I'm gonna try to understand you. I'm gonna try to see like what plans can we create to rectify your path. And we try everything and nothing works out. Well, then good luck, brother. You know,
you try.
There'll be somebody else. You know what I'm saying? This is what I always think. When people are ready to change, they'll change, right? When people are ready to receive a message,
they're ready.
And when people are not, then they'll be ready in the future.
Exactly.
Right? The thing is that sometimes people are never ready.
No.
You know?
But what's important that you just said is that you're there to try to rectify their path. And so even if it's not right there and then, maybe in a year or so, they'll come back to you because guess what? You were the guy that was being supportive right there and then.
Right.
And you never kicked them out because they didn't want to learn. It was just like, okay, let's work around this struggle so that you can, better yourself in the future.
Yeah.
And they'll come back to you because of that.
Right.
Because of the respect you showed them.
Yeah. Even though in the moment they'll disrespect you. And I'll tell you one story. I'm not gonna say the boy's name, but about 2 years ago, I had this guy, super smart. Right now he's currently at a really dope university. But anyways, he's in class, right? And I'm carrying this dope ass discussion, bro, because we just finished watching the 13th Amendment.
Oh yeah.
Right? So that's a sick ass film, a documentary. And all these kids are getting into it. And then I have this boy right here, man. He's just talking loud to this girl because he's trying to spit game.
Yeah, of course.
And then I'm like, hey, bro, I'm talking, right? And then he's like, he looks at me, he's like, shit, I'm talking too. Right?
I think I know what you're doing.
And I'm just like, damn, bro, like you really do me, you really gonna do me like this? But whatever, right? 2 years later passed, and he comes back one day. He just comes back to my classroom. He's like, hey, Flores, how you doing, man? Blah blah. I want to apologize for being an asshole. You know? Yeah. And then I told him, I was like, hey, man, like, thank you. And this is you're showing me right now that you're maturing. You know, that you're growing up, that you're realizing how you were unfair. But see, that moment to me made me realize that it doesn't matter how much of an asshole certain kids act like.
Yeah. They're
just immature. They're going through certain emotional battles.
And who knows what they're going through at home, because the students we work with, you don't know what's going on. They could be walking out of their house and boom, there's a police raid. You don't know, and boom, they're all in with maybe socializing with that girl.
Right.
He spit some game.
Right. And that was his healing in that moment.
It was.
And then I was interrupting his
healing.
His livelihood. And he even felt disrespected.
See?
You know what I'm saying? So I've had a lot of interactions, bro, with certain kids. Some of the kids that are more like emotionally kind of turbulent, where I disrespect them in an indirect way. You know what I'm saying? Because in my head, I'm like, how could you ever feel disrespected?
By this, right?
Yeah.
And then, boom, they take it personal.
Yeah, but they took it so personal, it fucking goes down. And then it takes a while to kind of like restore that relationship. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, at the end of the day, that's the minority of students. You know what I'm saying? And, but at the end of the day, like, I still love those minority of students.
You learn the most from
because they need the most.
Yeah.
And they teach me the most.
Oh, of course.
Next time I won't disrespect you the same way.
Next time I'll be a little bit more inclusive.
Right. So it's a marvelous field of work, man. Don't hesitate on it. Obviously, there's millions of things for you to do out there. What I always say is, like, if your heart feels like it's in the right place, do it. Exactly. Right? And for me, passion is a very important thing, right? Because I'm only 25 years old, but fulfillment at a workspace is the most important thing.
It's crucial. If you're not fulfilled with what you're doing, it projects onto your personal life. And you don't want to go to work and hate your job and those 8 hours turn into 20 hours. You don't want that.
No, dude.
My 40 hours feel like 20.
Right.
Because I love what I do.
Right.
Sometimes it is exhausting. Like yesterday I was doing data entry all day long because we need our grants.
Right.
but it didn't feel that long because I just love what I do.
Yeah.
And I like to see that money get into place with all of our fun events.
Yeah. What job did you have as a younger guy that you completely like despised? When you were at work, it was like, oh my God, I can't wait to get out of here.
No, you know what? I've never really had that.
Oh, really?
No, thinking back right now, I haven't. I think I just had jobs that were a little bit tougher.
Okay.
Because I was, for example, a site coordinator with the Mayor's Office of Gang Reduction and Youth Development, and I had interns that were almost my age.
Right.
I was 24 at the time. I had interns that were 25. Some of them were 22.
Okay.
And this was their first job, and my job was to make sure they were doing their expectations, and on top of that, I was supposed to train them.
Right.
And so those two just conflicted because they didn't know how to be a worker and they didn't know how to complete tasks in a timely manner. And I guess that was the hardest, but
okay.
I didn't hate it. I
so challenging, but not annoying
no.
or awful. I would say mine was like as a host.
Host?
Yeah, at a restaurant. I was probably around 21 years old, and I was just completely like, when I would go in there, bro, it felt like 20-hour shifts. Cause I mean, as a host, bro, you're just kind of like standing,
waiting around.
Yeah, and an hour feels like forever, and then you get one person that comes in, and then that's like 5 minutes.
And then that's it?
Yeah. So, I mean, I worked at LAX. It was like a summer while I was at college. Mm-hmm. And so I needed some money. The money was good, by the way, because it was like a unionized place.
Oh, LAX? Yeah, it's really good.
And for me, it was bank. You know what I'm saying? Just a college kid. And so I was like, hell yeah, let's get this money. So let's talk a little bit about working out.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, sure. Why is it important for you to be fit?
So, let me tell you a story. I've always been fit, right? Except when I was in college. So
what?
Yeah. When I was in my freshman year, I gained like 20 pounds.
So what weight were you at that time?
Well,
you gained 20 pounds, so around how?
So how I am right now. I was about 175 when I first got into college.
Okay, so then you got to 195.
And then by the end of the first year, I gained 20 pounds. By the end of the second year, I gained another 20 pounds.
So you were already 215.
Yeah, it was tough. And then my third year, I gained another like 25 pounds.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then that's when I was like,
235?
Yeah, and like I never saw that I was gaining weight. It was just like it was happening.
It's natural.
It was weird. I was constantly studying, eating, and then next thing I was just big. But I never really saw myself as big. It was a weird complex. But then by the time I was a senior, I was like, man, what am I doing? And that's when it just hit. I was like, man, I need to lose all this weight. And ever since my fourth year of college, I've been consistently working out. And I think right now, upon reflecting on it, I'm pretty sure I was depressed. I'm pretty sure it was just hard to go to class and not understand. I have to do extra work or stress eating. Who knows? I'm sure I had multiple psychological effects or the effects when I was in college because it was just hard. But yeah, it's important for me to stay fit and take care of myself because that's what I do for self-care. I cook, I work out 4 to 6 times a week, and it's important because we work with tough cases.
Yeah.
And if you don't take care of yourself, you don't practice self-care, like how are you gonna do it?
That's so true, bro. That's so true. So
you're mindful, right?
Yeah.
I was big. I was the most I weighed in high school. In college was about maybe 250, dude.
Dang.
Yeah,
that's heavy, bro. Like
I was big.
Like I'm really good at visualizing weight because I've been an athlete for like pretty much my entire life, and I played football, so I was able to size up guys. You know, if you were 250, I knew how big you were. If you were 220, I knew how big you were. If you're 180, football, right? I know how big you are. You know what I'm saying? If you're 160, 140, like you can just size people up. You know what I'm saying? So that's freaking nuts, bro. But I'm really happy that you got on that path to living healthy.
Oh yeah.
And you know what I'm noticing, bro? I'm noticing with like a lot of like educated Latinos, they're starting to kind of want to live the healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, no, it's important.
You know what I'm saying?
We just go through so much stress and vicarious trauma, we just project it on to ourselves, and that's man, we don't want to live with that. To let go of it, for me, that's what works. For other people, it doesn't necessarily mean it's working out. It could be reading the book. Right. It can be painting. It can be attending a concert.
Right. There's some multiple different avenues for you to experience self-care.
And you can experience all those as part of self-care. But for me, the biggest one is just working out, eating healthy, I mean, that's it.
You know what I like about that? It's basic.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's easy.
No, it's not easy.
Because it definitely ain't easy.
Working out isn't.
Because I imagine that there's days when you don't want to work out.
Oh, yeah.
But you force yourself.
And then you do it.
How did you develop that discipline, bro? I want to talk about that discipline.
Oh, discipline. I think the biggest one, what got me into that, or what got me very disciplined, was just seeing the results and how good it felt after seeing results. It's like this whole, well, let me just take it back. I don't want to just say that I worked out to look good, because it's more than just looking good. It's more about how you feel. Because as you're working out, you're also thinking about life. You're also reflecting on what you're experiencing. But the body is also part of it, and it does feel really good looking at yourself in the mirror and be like, oh man, I'm looking good. Like nothing can stop me, and that creates confidence. And that confidence projects onto your personal life, work. It goes everywhere, and it helps you out in the long run.
How would you, because I feel like it's like an easy fix, right? But we're athletes. So I feel like we have an inner craving to work out, to feel good, to look good. It might be part of our genetics.
It probably is.
What type of advice would you have for someone who is currently at that 250 stage? They feel depressed, they feel anxious, they feel like sluggish, they feel disgusting, they look at themselves in the mirror and they hate what they see. What type of advice would you have for this person right now?
The biggest one is look at your circle. Who are you hanging out with? Are they bringing you up or are they taking you down? If all they want to do is eat out and you're trying to lose weight, then why are you hanging out with them? It doesn't make sense. So look at your circle and see what their goals are and how it's affecting you. After that, think about your own goals. Think about what you want to fulfill for yourself and be selfish. If it means you can't go out this weekend or next weekend because boom, you gotta hit the gym, gotta hit the bar, that's what you have to do, because you have to keep your goals in mind. I think a lot of people forget to be selfish with their time and say yes to everything, and that's something you shouldn't be doing. Like I can think of so many times where people would hit me up, hey, you want to go out? No, I can't. And I'm not even going to the gym. Is that I invest so much time into the gym and to feel good that I don't want to have a drawback by going out and doing this and eating this much out. So ultimately now I only do that with people that I actually really, really value. So you select your friends, you choose them because you don't want to break your diet for every person. Right. That's how I see it. I don't want to break my diet for every person I see and hang out with. No, that's tough. That's tough for me personally. Right. And so you look at your circle, see who's there, be selfish with your time, and then just focus on your goals. It's okay to cut people out. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing personal. Cut them out and just focus on yourself.
Right. So I mean, there's nothing wrong. I know it's a challenging experience, but again, right, if you're looking at yourself and you completely hate the image that's there, then change something.
Exactly.
Right.
And
right now.
Did you hear what I just said though? I didn't talk about working out at all. I talked about what's going on in here.
Talked about the people that are around you.
Yeah. It's what's going on in here, and so it's not that hard to get to the gym. You get there and just work out, just stay motivated, just do it. Sometimes you can't even think about it. Just like Nike, just do it. Right. I hate it. I'm gonna just do it. You wanna you wanna look good, you go to the gym, just do it.
Right. You know what I really like about working out? This like the self-positive talk that's going on in your mind. Like you're wondering, you're reflecting, you're thinking, like you said. What I like to do is like I'll turn on a podcast. Right, so I'm educating my mind while I'm working out, and I'm just like, dude, I get out of there, bro, and I just feel freaking awesome.
Right? You just feel like a new person.
You just feel great, man, and overall, like, it's a great thing. It keeps you healthy, it keeps your bones strong, it keeps your mindset strong, it keeps you motivated, right? You look at yourself, you look good, you're like, damn, like, what's going on right here?
Exactly.
Right? It helps your confidence, and then your confidence then affects everything else in life because people look at you and they're like, wow, who is this confident young man or young woman? Exactly. And now they're just like, I want to go ahead and collaborate with this person, or I want to go ahead and go on a date with this person.
Exactly, and it affects, this confidence projects onto everything. The way you interact with your family, friends, colleagues, and of course you're going to value someone that's more confident in what they're doing. I have colleagues that always talk to me about cooking. I have directors that talk to me about cooking, and they ask for advice, and that feels amazing. when someone that's well above the ladder in my
Like
field
coming
down to me and asking me for suggestions on their diet,
Right.
suggestions on how to live a better lifestyle, I'm like, oh yeah, like come to me. I don't care. I don't need to make money off of this. It's like, come to me. Like, also I'll help you out.
Education is free.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power when you share it, man. Let's
share
talk about
it.
nutrition. You know, I'm definitely not an expert in that field,
Mhm.
but I would like to know a little bit about what foods are key to keep you motivated, driven, happy, and above all, healthy.
Veggies are very important. Oh man, I hate them but love them at the same
I
time.
love veggies, bro.
Yeah.
But like, you obviously seasoning them
you have to
correctly,
season
right?
them. You can't just
You
throw.
can't just get a ¿cómo se dicen esos? The chayotes?
Yeah, no, you can't just.
Oh, raw chayote?
Oh man, you gotta boil them, steam them.
Right.
I think veggies are very important, and just staying away from red meat.
Really? Wait, you don't eat steak?
Well, you know what? Later on, I'll need a steak too, but I don't eat it as often.
So how should one plan for these foods?
So, steak takes forever to process, or like just not steak, just red meat in general takes forever to process. So I try to do either turkey or chicken, and then fish every now and then. But fish, smells a little bit too much after a few meals. But so chicken and turkey, they're very important. After that, your pasta, your veggies, include them in there. Sometimes I just throw everything all. I create my own meals. I don't have I don't look at a book and then be like, oh, I'm gonna cook ravioli today.
You get all creative?
No, I go to the store and I decide what I'm gonna cook.
Right.
I just, pasta sauce, boom. I wanna eat spaghetti squash today. Boom, let me include it.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. I'm very creative and very flexible with what I eat.
Right.
As long as it's beneficial to my goals. And it's tough because most of the time you're saying no to delicious food. Like, I still live with my parents and they cook delicious home meals. It's hard to say no to the enchiladas.
You break it sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, dude, I'm gonna get this enchilada with a little bit of, sauce on the top.
Yeah.
And then some crema. And some cheese on the top.
You can't say no to that. I was just in Mexico and I brought all that back with me. I brought back cheese, pan, dulces, all that.
But what you're saying is that you have to be very meticulous, right?
Yeah.
With the way that you eat the bad food. Well, I don't want to say bad, quote unquote, because it is, right? It technically is bad for you. Isn't it crazy how the bombest food is the worst for your health?
It is.
Why is that? Why do you think that?
There's just so much love made in that food.
I know, right? You're like, that's good.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, man. I love food, bro.
Same. I'm definitely a foodie.
Yeah.
Like, I can eat. I'm not always hungry, but I'm always down to eat. That's my slogan. Yeah.
Like, I'm always ready to eat.
Like, I'm always ready. Let's do it.
How would you say? Do you have like an intake of calories that you don't surpass? Is there a way to determine how much calories you need to intake according to your body size?
You know what's unique about me and my fitness is that I don't keep track of any of that. What I do is I make sure I eat very nutritious meals throughout the whole day. I'll eat. Let's say I cook during the week. I eat 2 meals of two same meals during the day. Like one for lunch and then one for dinner. And then in between I'll just eat Greek yogurt with granola and berries. And if I cheat, I'll have like a little chocolate, a little sweet, because that's my craving. Sweets.
But that's so tiny.
It is, exactly. And that's what's important. I'm not cheating with a full meal.
Right.
I'm cheating with a small little chocolate.
Right.
Maybe it's just a little bite and I throw the rest away.
Right.
But that's how I maintain it. Or I'll chew gum because it's sweet.
You know what I visualize myself now? Like, because my girlfriend loves fucking just eating desmadre, you know?
Yeah.
And I have to be the one that's more disciplined. So in my head, I hear Jocko's voice. He's like, there's this chapter where he talks about sugar, right? And he talks about all these like terrible foods, and he's like, it's simple. Don't eat it, right? So then I'm like in the store and I'm seeing all this badass candy, and I'm just like, just don't do it. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy how sometimes we're looking for all these crazy solutions to all these like small problems. And
the simplest thing. Have you heard of C.T. Fletcher?
Yes.
That guy's crazy.
He was on Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
Did you listen to it?
No, but that guy is crazy, right? And I used to listen to a lot of him. He was my motivation.
Okay.
And his biggest thing was, you're eating for results, not taste. And so that's what it is.
Oh, that's a tough one, right?
You're eating for results, not the taste. And so you just Just
you know
deal
what?
with it.
I feel like
Get it done.
I feel like I'm too radical for that. Like I need to have best of both worlds. Like there has to be a way. Like season that motherfucker the right way, and it's gonna be good.
Exactly.
But then I totally get what he's saying.
Just
Right? If you want that, that's true. I think one of my biggest issues has been like completely being disciplined to the point like where I want to see my right results. I'll have to like let go of all those different things that I like to do that will completely ruin. Like let's say I had a great workout this week, right? And then I hit the bar.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? All that beer, it might just completely ruin everything, and now it sets me behind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and trainers have told me that. I don't know how true that may be, but I believe them, right? Because they definitely look very, very fit.
Yeah.
But CT Fletcher, man, he's an interesting guy. He did you actually hear about his heart transplant?
Yeah, he said that. Oh, yeah, that guy. Man, did he hear about the transplant he got? It was from a woman, and so he's like, "There's a woman inside of this beast."
Right.
And that was powerful what he said.
He's the most beautiful thing about that is that obviously a woman's heart is smaller than a male's heart, right?
A lot smaller.
And not only this, but CT Fletcher is he's an enormous man.
He is.
And so you have a woman's heart inside of you, and typically your chances of dying as a male when you have a female's heart transplant are very high, up in the 75-80%, right? Yeah. So here's what happened, man. There was a miracle involved where this guy, the heart of the woman grew to be the size of his old heart within a span of 3 days.
That is a miracle. It was meant to be for him.
You know what I'm saying? And those are the things where you just gotta leave it up to God.
Yeah, you just leave it up.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Like whatever is out there, there's a reason why. There's some sort of force, there's some sort of energy, there's some sort of thing that's going on that just allows for that to go into its full position.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
It was meant to be for him.
Right. And then him talking about how sometimes he feels the presence of the woman. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy, right?
Damn.
But I give that guy props because despite all those, conditions he's had, he still manages his gym. He's there with his son. He's projecting. He's selling all of his merchandise. He's doing it.
Yeah.
And I wish I could meet that guy. That guy is something else. He's here from Compton.
No way.
Yeah, the Superman from Compton. They call him apparently.
Oh, shit. Well, you know what? I feel like people like that are very important for us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because oftentimes we want to make excuses, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like me, not so much. Because I'm pretty fucking driven and I work really hard in my life but a lot of people around me, they make a lot of excuses for a lot of things. And I wouldn't even have to talk about them. I'll just talk about myself. I hate making excuses, man. It's one of those things that just makes me feel like I'm cheating myself.
You are.
You know what I'm
really
saying?
Are. When you make excuses for whatever the simplest thing, you make an excuse to let's say not read a book or watch that TV show that's gonna benefit you in the long run, or getting started with whatever you want to do, and you make an excuse, you're limiting your success rate, you're limiting your outcomes, you're limiting your full potential, essentially.
Right. And it's just like you just gotta stop, man. You just gotta stop right now. Don't make any excuses. Mm-hmm. Take accountability. I messed up. Let's move forward. Okay, I messed up again. I strongly believe that there's nothing wrong with making mistakes.
Oh no.
You know what I'm saying? A wise man once told me that wisdom is not making a mistake over and over and over. But maybe I'm not wise, right? Maybe I'm still young. Maybe I'm supposed to live through all these different mistakes, right? But the truth is that a football coach at East LA College once told me, he's like, Jesus, if you're gonna fuck up, I want you to fuck up at 110%.
Try to,
And then I was like, dude, that's real, man. Right? Because I may have not performed as well as you wanted me to, but I did my best. Right?
That's what's important. You did your best.
Exactly.
At least you can get that out of your system saying, oh, I failed, but boom, exactly. I tried it. I tried to make it happen.
Exactly. You go to Mexico often, no?
Oh, yeah.
So, where do you go? And what is your favorite thing about Mexico?
My favorite thing, aside from seeing the family, of course, is the authentic food and the culture, the weather. Oh man, everything is just beautiful in Mexico. Actually, I just got back on Sunday from Mexico. Right. I was in Michoacan, Mexico, visiting family. Yeah, in Zamora, where I was actually raised.
Okay.
There.
Yeah. And what's a Why do you go so often?
Because I have the time, and a lot of my family they're getting older.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows, maybe in the future I'm gonna have a family and I'm not gonna have time to visit them as often. So for right now, I just want to take advantage of it. My job allows me to, and because I can, I just do it.
Yeah.
And luckily I have a family that, you know, are very welcoming. I call them a few days before and I tell them, hey, I'm coming by. Oh, come through. Vente, mijo.
Yeah.
And we'll pick you up from the airport or whatnot. And I'm very fortunate about that. And so whenever I go back, it's mostly for them. But of course I go to take care of myself too.
Right, it's fun.
I'll take out I will go out to eat every single night. We had carne en su jugo. We had some aguachiles and mango. That was something else.
Oh,
that was probably like the highlight.
Yeah,
that was the highlight.
My favorite seafood.
So good. I've never had it with mangoes. Bomb. I can't even. That's the word I have for it. Bomb. Bomb. And what I like the most though about that is about going to Mexico is that it reminds me that you can go out and still show up to work the next day. Like everyone out there they're very hardworking, and I love that.
Oh yeah.
Like they
work like crazy.
Yeah, they're very hardworking.
Bro.
Like my cousin, he works as a legal assistant, and this guy, we had 3 family parties during the week, on Monday, Thursday, and then on Friday. So this guy still goes out to a party. And everyone has a good time. No one's complaining, oh, I have work tomorrow. Nah, that's not even an issue. It's like you show up to the party,
right.
You eat, you spend time with the family, and then you go home and wake up the next day. And that's expected of you because you're a hardworking person.
Right.
And I think that's beautiful. Here in the U.S., we don't really have that.
No,
it's like, you can't go out on Monday. You can't have a family thing during the week.
Yeah. It's like, no, that's not true.
No, you can do it.
You just gotta be disciplined enough to wake up at 6 in the morning and get to work.
Yeah, and that's what helped me out. I was like, man, like, these people do it, I can do it too.
Right.
And so when you travel like that, you learn from other cultures, and then you take back what you need. And that's what I took back this last visit.
Right.
That you can do whatever you do. You take care of yourself during the week and still go out.
Like, it's important to work hard, but play hard.
Yeah.
You know, well, you don't have to do that, but if you're struggling with the idea of maybe potentially being able to execute it, well, you could do it, right? I was in Guadalajara about 3 years ago, and I was with with my homie's family. Dude, they were just the sweetest, most beautiful, warm, kind, inviting people. Like, I'm a stranger in their house.
And then they're like, come through, like.
Y todas las mujeres me estaban sirviendo, you know, like, I'm not saying that that's necessarily like good or bad or whatever. Yeah. I definitely appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just sitting there. They bring the cocteles, like homemade cocteles. That's
amazing. That's
and
delicious.
Oh, do you want some more? Do you want this? Do you want this? Like, we're gonna make some tacos now, whatever. And I'm just like
wow, like how do they say no? Like,
dang, this is beautiful.
Love, that's love.
Right. And the hospitality of Mexicans is supreme, bro. It's supreme. But the point is, like, before all of that, my friend's dad, he has like properties, so he's like, oye muchachos, vamos a jugar ahorita, you know? And he's like, vamos a jugar porque el trabajo se paga, you know? And he's like, well, y'all ain't getting paid for this, right? So we were basically like digging and doing all those different things and stuff, but, you know, I was probably like one of the laziest fools there, you know, because everyone else was like working hard, and, you know, their hands are, like, I'm not a physical laborer, you know what I'm saying? Like,
we don't have that.
And, you know, I work with my brain. So I'm in there, bro. My hands are bleeding and shit. I was just like, damn, but I don't want to tell nobody because now, like, my manlyhood is going to decrease, you know? So I was just like, but at the end of working so hard, bro, everyone's sweating. The sun has been hard, and there was something valuable from that.
Right.
There was something special of, like, just kind of like working with your body and, like, at the end taking a shower and then being able to, you know, get a couple drinks with the family, some great food,
like a whole
and then
process,
party
right?
later on at night, and then it was like again,
and then do it all over again.
Work the next day, you know, and like they just act like nothing. Just act like nothing,
it's
and then
a lifestyle.
You know, they work and they shower and again, ¿pa dónde vamos a ir?
And that's something that I value. Man, that's amazing. My cousins. So one of them works as a legal assistant, and then most of my family owns huertas, and so they sell crops, they sell strawberries, tomatoes, cebollas, everything. Yeah. And so they're out there in the fields all day too. Yeah, and it's tough. They start at 6 in the morning, pick up all of their workers, and then They work till about somewhere between 6 to 10 p.m. sometimes. Latest.
Yeah, 6 in the morning?
Yeah, till about
10
6
p.m.?
Yeah, latest. Yeah,
That's a life of toiling, man.
Yeah, and then they come back, showered up, and they have a family too. Have a family life, you know?
Right.
So tough, but I appreciate that they were able to do that for me.
Right.
Show me the value of working hard and then playing hard.
Right.
'Cause I don't get to see that here. Not as much.
Like
you save all that to the weekend. It's like you don't have to
right.
For the
like
weekend.
as far as like the partying wise, but definitely like I would say like in our community, like the Latinos and other folks, you know, they work really hard too.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because they understand that. You feel me? Like they're coming from that culture of working your ass off. So now you come here and then you see all these like lazy Americans, and he's like, damn, I'm about to like beat you because you're lazy. I work hard. And I mean, my ideal thing is like work hard with your mind. You know what I'm saying? And
work smarter, not harder.
If it just happens to be that you love working with your body, go for it. You know, maybe that's your passion. Construction, maybe
it is construction. Maybe. A lot of people, you know, love that.
They do.
That's what they love. They work with their mind and their body at the same time because they're building stuff.
So ultimately, you got to figure it out for yourself.
And try it out. Right. What you need to do.
So Julio, if you have any final words, practical advice for our audience today that they can probably use today and become better people, what is something that you could share with them?
I have two things. Look at your circle. Like I said earlier, look at your circle and ask yourself, are they bringing me up or down? And if they're not bringing you up, you need to change your circle. Aside from that, I think it's very important to be selfish with your time. Say no sometimes if you have to, but take care of yourself first. And that doesn't mean shut people off. That means do what's best for you at first, and then go on to your family, friends, and whatnot. But always be selfish and practice self-care.
Wow. Thank you very much, Julio, for sharing that today. Where can people find out more about you?
Look me up on Instagram, Juicy July, _. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Beautiful.
Maybe in the future I'll have a blog
just
to project my experiences.
You should, man. I think that as a counselor, as a brown counselor, it's very important for you to record, your experiences, your interactions, your growth, your challenges, and keep that for yourself, for your future kids to see.
Exactly.
I mean, one day we're gonna be grandparents, and like they're gonna watch this. You know what I'm saying?
Isn't it beautiful that they can watch it?
It is, because we're a whole different generation, bro. And aside from that, like the way that the economy is gonna change in the future, like right now, so this is what's happening in the economy, right? The United States used to be industrial based, right? Everyone had to work their asses off at some sort of steel industry, right? And then it turned into a service industry, right? Which is basically what you and I are doing. And now there's going to be another evolution to that step. And some people are theorizing that it's going to be the technological era, right? So this is my attempt to kind of
get there,
start going with that. You know what I'm saying? And one of the people that kind of inspired me to start that was Angel Hernandez. You know what I'm saying? And he's a very creative guy, a very smart guy, and obviously he's one of my closest friends in the professional world. And you know what I'm saying? It's important, man. That what you're saying about creating a circle of people, right? I'm not sure who said that, whether it was Nipsey or someone, but they're like, if your inner circle is not inspiring you, that shit's a cage.
It is a cage. It was Nipsey,
right?
It was, and it is a cage in reality,
right?
And people don't see it as a cage because that's what they know,
right?
But you need to step out of that cage and boom,
right? It's like the bird that's lived their entire life in a cage. They don't even know that they're trapped.
They don't even know they're in that cage, right?
Right. So find your freedom, motivate yourself, inspire yourselves. This is Julio. I really appreciate you being on the show today, man. I can't wait to get this content out to people and have them listen. And there's definitely so many gems in here. I thank you, brother. No, thank you, man, for showing up and showing up to my crib and just having this conversation, man. And I appreciate it. And we'll stay connected, man.
Definitely.
Maybe we can get some workouts in or something.
Let's do it.
Maybe even some volleyball in.
Yeah.
And I'm excited, man. Hopefully you start your own blog or vlog soon, and you definitely have a platform with your Instagram. And dude, everyone is craving to know who we are. You know what I'm saying?
Our stories are meant to be heard, right?
Right. And even though currently maybe our platforms are not huge or whatever, but we have something, and when you work hard, even though sometimes growth is incremental and it's very small. I mean, it happens. And that's it, guys. I had a great time. I'll catch you guys next time. You know who I am. Love you.
Take care.
Thank you, brother.